John Howe.
Thank you, Sir Graham. It's a great pleasure to serve under your chairmanship. And I would like to start by thanking the Honourable Member for Hartlepool for introducing this debate. Let me begin where I was going to end, and that is reinforcing with the Minister the fact that here, in a cross-party atmosphere, we are taking this issue very seriously. There is a huge amount of commitment to it, and the strength of feeling for dealing with this is absolutely enormous. And I think if the Minister listens to all of the contributions that have been made, he will get that as the feeling that is being made in this chamber. I was going to start by looking at the situation in my own constituency. But the situation is, it depends how you look at it, is either not very good or actually too good to be able to do that. I looked through the neighbourhood plan, the neighbourhood policing reports recently, one for the Henley area and one for an area that covers a whole number of areas around Tame. And in the Henley area, there was no example of knife crime in the neighbourhood reports. In the Tame area, there were 2 areas of knife crime. So you may think that I have no great ability to be able to stand up here and to talk about this issue. But my constituency is in the middle of the Thames Valley Police area. And the Thames Valley Police area is a very, very wide area. It includes Oxford, it includes Abingdon, it includes Reading, and it includes Slough. And the Minister will be aware that in Oxford we had an example of a knife attack only recently, and that has really been brought home to the people, not just in Oxford, but all of those who live around it. Now, the figures show that the number of knife attacks in the Thames Valley was in just marginally short of 1,300. That's in 2017-18. And that is the highest figure that there has been since 2010. So that's just about 50% increase for the number of knife crimes that were committed in 2012-13. And that number keeps coming up amongst the areas that we're looking at. The Thames Valley Police area is the largest area of knife crime in the whole of the South East. It far outstrips counties like Kent, like Sussex, and like Surrey, and it stands out in marked contrast to the calm and peaceful nature of that area when you look at it as a whole. And if you look at what the knife crime has been involved in, it's been involved in 7 murders, 40 rapes, 10 sexual attacks, and 86 threats to kill. This is not a gang warfare. This is a much greater crime that involves us all. Now, I agree with my right honourable friend from Gedling that this is not a simple task to overcome this, because in the Thames Valley area, recruitment is actually up. And there is a tremendous amount of work that is being done to look at the intakes. And I agree with my honourable friend that numbers will always make a difference. They will always make a difference to this. But we're asking the question, do they make the difference? And I think I agree with the right honourable member for Gedling that they don't make the difference, because you need to take into account a whole number of other things. And what the police want, above all, to tackle this, is the certainty that the increase in numbers that they are seeing at the moment and being able to tackle the recruitment will continue for the future. They don't know that at the moment, and they do need certainty over that. But an equally big role that they play, and I think it has been mentioned already by a member in this debate, is in partnership with a number of other organisations. And though the agencies and the organisations that they're in partnership include the NHS, they include a whole lot of other organisations, but the one that I have the most sympathy for is the relationship that the police have set up with schools. Here they have a chance of breaking the link of knife crime to drugs, and as the Deputy Police Crime Commissioner said, once a young person has a knife, it's almost too late. It's almost too late. And this is a way of breaking that link. Now, we've also heard quite a lot about stop and search, and that has increased completely in the area by something like just over 50%. But I have a mixed feeling about stop and search. I participated in a group that included police and crime commissioners, that included members of the police, that included other politicians. And there was a tremendous backlash amongst the group, including the police, against just carrying on with stop and search as it was. They really didn't see that that was creating a favourable climate in which to tackle this issue, because of all of the things that were associated with the history of stop and search. But what we did agree was that any stop and search needed to be intelligence-led. It needed to be proportionate, and it needed to be appropriate. And I'm very pleased that the initiatives that have been taken by the Thames Valley Police have all been intelligence-led and are having great effect. Yes, we should and can increase the sentences, and we have a unique position in this House for being able to comment on the guidelines that are issued whenever sentencing is looked at and when new guidelines are issued. And the Justice Select Committee always comments on them. And from what I have heard here, I will certainly take back to that committee a more concentrated effort on making sure that we are blunt as we can be in giving that information to judges. As I said in my intervention, we all have a role to play in this process, and that's why in the UQ I asked the question as to what role we can play as MPs, because I've noticed that many MPs are very much in the role of observers in this, but haven't yet found a way to become participants in this. And the Minister thought that I had uncovered a pot of gold in saying this. I wish I had. I wish there was a pot of gold for this. But I do think it is appropriate. And if the Minister today knows what has happened to that initiative, on which I think there has been some progress, it would be very nice for him to tell us. Thank you.